What if you could keep your high-end Dubai salary but slash your cost of living by nearly 40% overnight? While everyone else in your office is struggling with skyrocketing Dubai rents, complaining about inflation and accepting a lower quality of life, a smaller group of savvy apex professionals is executing a maneuver. We called it the stealth relocation strategy. I'm going to show you exactly how moving to Ras Al Khaimah allows you to live in absolute luxury while saving thousands of dirham every single month. Imagine waking up to an unobstructed view of the rugged mountain and pristine, quiet beaches, all while paying half the rent of a cramped, noisy studio apartment in Dubai Marina. Most expats look at the map, see the distance, and think the commute is an absolute deal breaker. They are entirely missing the bigger picture of the massive lifestyle upgrade waiting in RAK. This is the ultimate guide to the UAE's best-kept secret for the wealth building in 2026. Stop overpaying for your life in Dubai just to say you live there. There is a silent, highly lucrative migration happening right now towards the Northern Emirates, and it is the absolute fastest way to fast-track your retirement. Before I break down the exact logistics and the reality of the commute and the massive tax-free savings you will unlock by executing the stealth move to Ras Al Khaimah, hit the subscribe button and press the notification bell. I post daily videos showing you exactly how to navigate the global labor and capital market using cold, hard engineering logic. You do not want to miss these execution protocols. Today, we are dismantling the geographical illusion that keeps you broke. Grab a notebook. It is time to stop subsidizing your landlord's wealth and start architecting your own. Welcome back. I'm Dr. HR. To understand why my approach to the geographic positioning and the human capital is aggressively different from the aesthetic, superficial advice peddled by the real estate influencers, you must understand my underlying structure logic. I hold a PhD in human resources, a bachelor's in computer science, and a master's in HR. I do not look at on the real estate as a status symbol. I look at real estate as a mathematical equation affecting your ultimate liquidity. Operating on the ground here in UAE since 2010, consulting for Tier 1 corporate entities, I analyze exactly how the global elite structure their lives to maximize capital retention. Living in the center of a hyperinflated metropolis is no longer a requirement for corporate dominance. It is an elective tax. Let us systematically deconstruct this lucrative geographical hack through 5 distinct phases: the Vanity Premium, the infrastructure upgrade, the asynchronous commute, square footage, sovereignty, and the stealth execution protocol. Phase 1, the Vanity Premium, the rent trap versus capital capture. We must first diagnose the exact debilitating financial leak that is destroying the modern expat's ability to build generational wealth. If you are earning a premium salary in Dubai, perhaps AED 40,000 to AED 60,000 dirhams a month, you feel wealthy on paper. But then you look at the structural realities of the 2026 real estate market. You're renting a standard 2-bedroom apartment in downtown Dubai, Business Bay or Marina. Your landlord demands AED 180,000 to AED 220,000 a year. Assuming this is the simple, you pay it. Assuming this is simply the cost of doing business in a Tier 1 global city, you are paying the Vanity Premium. You are paying a massive unjustified surcharge simply to hold a specific zip code so you can tell your peers at dinner parties that you live in the epicenter of the action. But let us look at the mathematics of this vanity. You are bleeding capital into a depreciating liability. Now look at the apex operator executing the stealth relocation. They take their exact same Dubai-issued salary, but they sign a lease in Ras Al Khaimah, perhaps in luxury waterfront development in Mina Al Arab or Al Hamra village. They secure a massive 3-bedroom townhouse with a private garden and a beach access for 80,000 dirhams a year. The delta between these two decisions is a staggering 100,000 dirhams annually. The amateur view that AED 100,000 dirhams as savings. The apex operator views that AED 100,000 as a capital capture. If you take that extracted capital and deploy it into a decentralized stablecoin, yield engine earning 10% APY, or funnel it into dividend-yielding global index fund, you are compounding massive wealth while your Dubai's colleagues are simply paying off their landlord's mortgage. You are artificially increasing your net salary by 25% without asking your boss for a single dime. Do not subsidize a landlord's luxury lifestyle when you can be financing your own permanent financial autonomy. Phase 2, the infrastructure upgrade, the Wynn Effect. When you mention Ras Al Khaimah to a legacy Dubai expat, they envision a sleepy, disconnected industrial town. They base their assessment on outdated 10-year-old data. You must look at the macroeconomic indicators. You do not move to where the market has already peaked. You position yourself where the capital is currently flowing. RAK is currently undergoing the most aggressive high-velocity infrastructure upgrade in the Middle East, driven heavily by the Wynn Effect. With the multi-billion-dollar Wynn Resort and gaming complex slated for Al Marjan Island, global institutional capital is flooding into the Emirates. The roads are expanding, the luxury hospitality is exploding, and high-end culinary and retail ecosystems are establishing immediate beachhead. If you move to RAK today, you are not retreating from civilization, you are taking an early, high strategic position in the next major global epicenter of luxury and tourism. You're securing premium lease as a baseline prices just before the massive 2027 demand shock hits the market. Furthermore, you are removing yourself from the hyper-dense, anxiety-inducing congestion of a saturated metropolis. While your Dubai colleagues spend their weekends fighting for a parking spot at an overcrowded mall, you are accessing the world-class hiking trails of Jabal Jais, engaging in the water sports on an uncrowded coastline, and living in an environment that actively lowers your cortisol levels. You're not moving to a quiet suburb, you're taking an early calculated position on the next global epicenter of the luxury capital. Phase 3, the asynchronous commute, the geographic hack. The immediate reflexive objection to the stealth relocation is the drive. The average employee look at the Google Maps, see the hour and a 15-minute distance from RAK and their office in DIFC or Media City, and immediately reject the strategy. They are calculating the friction using a completely obsolete industrial era formula. They are assuming they must make that drive 5 days a week during peak rush hour. Apex operators do not sit in a rush hour. They execute the asynchronous commute. First, we must acknowledge the reality of Dubai traffic. An expat living in Dubai Marina trying to commute to downtown Dubai during 8 a.m. rush hours will easily spend 50 to 60 minutes sitting in the dead stop, gridlocked traffic on. This is 1 hour of high stress, brake tapping, adrenaline spiking misery. The commute from RAK to Dubai is executed on an expansive multi-lane E311 or E611 highways. It is an open high-speed cruise. 60 minutes of driving at 120 km per hour on an open highway is psychologically and biologically entirely different from 60 minutes of gridlock. The Apex operator uses this uninterrupted time as a rolling university. You consume complex audiobooks, you listen to macroeconomics earning calls, and you dictate strategic audio memos. The commute is transformed from wasted friction into a dedicated cognitive processing block. More importantly, the stealth relocation strategy fundamentally relies on the modern hybrid architecture. You do not execute this move if you are chained to a desk 5 days a week. You leverage your high-value performance to negotiate a hybrid schedule. 2 days in office, 3 days remote. When you only drive to Dubai 2 times a week, avoiding peak hours by arriving at 10 a.m. and leaving at 3 p.m. or 7 p.m., the geographical distance becomes entirely irrelevant. The mathematics of the commute completely break down in your favor. A high-speed commute on an open highway is an operational asset. A standstill traffic is a premium zip code, is a psychological prison. Phase 4. The square footage sovereignty. We must address the biological impact of your environment on your executive output. In the 2026 remote hybrid economy, your home is no longer just a place where you sleep. It is your corporate headquarters. It is your broadcasting studio. It is your primary analytical laboratory. If you are paying AD 140,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment in Business Bay, your biological bandwidth is restricted. You are working, sleeping, and relaxing in a heavily constrained box. Your dining table doubles as your boardroom. The psychological compression of a tight, high-density living actively degrades your cognitive processing speed over time. By executing the stealth relocation to Ras Al, you acquire square footage sovereignty. Because you slashed your price per square foot by 50%, you upgrade to a multi-level townhouse or a villa. You engineer a dedicated soundproof office that is structurally separated from your living space. You have a private garden where you can physically disconnect from the digital matrix. You have immediate access to nature, which is scientifically proven to optimize the brain's default mode network, leading to a higher level of creative problem solving and strategic foresight. When you present on a high-stakes Zoom call, you're not huddled into a corner of a studio apartment. You are broadcasting from a dedicated, well-lit professional environment. Your geographic relocation actually increases the perceived authority of your digital presence. You have engineered an environment that forces your brain to operate at peak efficiency. Your environment dictates your cognitive output. Upgrade your operational bandwidth by violently expanding your physical footprint. Phase 5, the stealth execution protocol. Theory is useless without a timeline. If you want to capture AED 100,000 Vanity Premium and a square footage sovereignty, you must execute this transition without triggering alarm bells inside your corporation. You must follow the stealth execution protocol. Step 1. Architect the autonomy trade. Do not, I want to move to Ras Al, so I need to work from home 3 days a week. That is asking for a favor based on a personal lifestyle choice. The corporation does not care about your lifestyle. You must architect the autonomy trade based purely on the value extraction. You spend the next 3 months operating as a sniper. You identify a massive multi-million dirham bottleneck in your department. You fix it. You document the exact data proving you increase the revenue or decrease latency by a massive margin. Then, you present the data to your VP. To achieve the next 20% increase in output for Q3, I need uninterrupted deep work isolation. I will be shifting my operational schedule to 2 days of a high collaboration in office time and 3 days of isolated digital execution. You frame the geographic autonomy as a requirement for your continued high performance. Step 2. The silent migration. Once the hybrid schedule is structurally logged in, you execute the move. You do not need to make a grand announcement to the office that you are relocating to a different Emirates. Your output remains flawless. Your digital presence remains dominant. Your in-office days are highly visible, energetic, and completely focused on the relationship building and shadow org chart navigation. As far as the corporation is concerned, you are just as present as you ever were. Step 3. The capital deployment. The exact month your rent obligation drops, you set an automated routing system for your excess capital. The AED 8,000 you save every month does not stay in your checking account to be absorbed by the lifestyle creep. It is an immediate siphoned into your stablecoin yield engine and your global index portfolio. You lock the capital away so you cannot see it, allowing it to compound silently in the background. You have successfully hacked the Dubai salary. You extract the premium compensation of a tier 1 global hub, but you pay the operational cost of an emerging low-density oil. Never ask a corporation for a geographic permission. Architect the undeniable high-leverage performance that makes your physical location entirely irrelevant to them. Look closely at the financial script you are blindly following. You have been told that to be successful, you must live in the center of the noise. You must pay exorbitant rent to signal the market that you have made it. The true apex operators reject this expensive biological vanity. They understand the wealth is not what you spend, wealth is the capital you retain. They leverage the 2026 digital infrastructure to completely decouple their earning geography from their living geography. They execute the stealth relocation to Ras Al. They trade traffic jam for an open highway, and they trade cramped apartment for a square footage at sovereignty. Stop paying the vanity premium. Engineer a hybrid autonomy. Secure the massive arbitrage. And buy back your financial freedom decades before the rest of your office and even realizes what you did. Process the data, execute the strategy, and I'll see you at the top.